Hello, everyone. My name is the new A1. I rap, I make beats, and now I'm going to be making some YouTube content. I'll be trying some different things, but this first thing I'm going to throw at you is a tutorial of how I make a beat using an MPC 1. So, hope you enjoy. All right, so I'm just starting out with these kinds of videos, so just bear with me through the growth. Um, I'm not really going to go too in depth here, but if you want more, just let me know. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'm sorry. Anyway, MPC 3.0. It's still in beta, but it's been out a while, so let's use it. This is a new project by default. Gives you a drum program. As a matter of fact, this is not a new project. Default screen. It starts you off with this is a new project. Starts you off with a drum track. There's no more programs. It's tracks. So if you go to select new track, it gives you some options there. There's your drum track if you want drum sounds, and I use that for sampling. There's plugin for synths. So I'm just gonna go with this drum track that it gave me to start with. Start off with the beat because there's many ways you can start off with a beat. Something I hear a lot of people talking about lately is just starting off with a tempo, starting off with your drums. If you seen some of the master classes, Alchemist, that's the way he does it. I've seen Metro Boomin talk about it, DJ Mustard. Let's do the same thing. Let's see if we can start off with a tempo. So I'm going to build out a drum kit and then make a drum loop. Let's browse through for some sounds. I could just hit the browse button here. I suggest having an SD card or some kind of external memory, but if you're using the internal, you can see that stuff here in content. Go here to places to see your external stuff. And I'm just going to go through and look for some drum sounds. It's good to be organized. I'm going to look for first kick drum, and it'll play out an audition as you go through it. And you can use the search function to look for certain sounds. Now, once you have your sound, you could press the pad here. It lights up green, so that means that once I press this load button, you see it loads that sound onto this pad. So I could just go ahead and do that for, find myself a snare. Take that one there. And I am going to find myself a hi-hat and put it on this pad. Okay, so now I have drum kit. I'm going to hit this full level button just so I don't have to hit the pads too hard. I could adjust the velocity later. A couple things to check beforehand. Metronome, I like to have it on count in so that it gives me a count before I record. And I like to enable it during recording, at least for the beginning, so I know what tempo I'm in. And then I can turn it off and work without it after that. And another thing is time correction. If I hit this TC button here, that's for time correct. It's on by default. That means it's going to quantize what you're playing. I'm going to leave it on for now. I usually have it on in the beginning, and then I'll adjust it. I'll play with the settings, play around with that, and I'll show you how I use swing for ghost notes and stuff like that. But I'm just going to lay down a little simple drum track first. So first things first, let's get our tempo. Like, I know I'm making a boom bap type beat, so boom boom bap, 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 just something like that. And then I'll use the convenient tap tempo method to get myself something. It has me at 72. So let's just go ahead and see if I could just lay down this simple pattern. So to record, I'm going to use overdub and then play start. Overdub just won't get rid of anything that you've recorded, and if you use record, it'll overwrite what you have. I'll use that later. Play start to play at the beginning of your loop, and play to just start playing from wherever you are. It starts me off with 2 bars here. You can add more, but I'm just going to go ahead and just make a 2-bar sequence. So let's see if I can get that down. Okay, so I have that. I want to add the hats. I'm going to hit overdub. My metronome tells me it's recording. Just add some hats. Alright, so I got something there. Now, one thing I like to do is copy over some drums, add effects for ghost notes and things like that. So I'm going to take my kick drum and copy it over like this, hold copy. Hit the pad you want to copy, and then the pad you want to copy it to while that screen is up. And if you do that right, now I got a copy of the pad here on this new pad. And what I want to do is press this program edit here. There's no more programs in MPC 3.0. They're just integrated into the tracks, but this program edit works pretty much the same. I'm going to go to effects, and I'm only putting an effect on this pad right now. I'm going to grab an effect. I'm going to grab a filter, low pass filter. And just bring the frequency down. So it does something like that. Alright, so now I have something like that. And I know that if I go to timing correct, I want to add swing here because I want some shuffle on this note I'm about to add. And you'll see what that does. So I'm going to record that ghost note. Overdub. I'm recording. All right, so we got basic drum loop. We got a tempo down. And at this point, if you're not sampling, you can grab your synths, start jamming out, plug up your instruments, and getting an idea. But I'm going to sample off the vinyl. I've chosen today Henry Mancini presents the Academy Award songs. Very prolific composer. Definitely heard his music at some point in your life. And I'm going to first make a new track. It's going to also be a drum track. Now I can go to my sampler screen by hitting this sampler button. It gives me a couple options down here for how you want to sample in. I'm going to use the default option of just sample. That's just going to have me record everything, and then I can go in and edit it. Turn on this button so that I can hear what's coming from my record player. And I'll just start playing stuff. I'll just sit there, let it play. Sometimes I do this, then start, cleaning up the house. And, if something jumps out at you, you already know. The house is staying dirty. I'm gonna grab some chops. Sometimes things line up perfectly. I like to just look for things that sound nice, fit in the same space sonically. I like orchestra records that are clean like this. Bells and vocals are nice. how them bells sound, vocals sound. Sometimes I'll try a little needle jump. Still working on that. But I like that little portion there. Stop the drums real quick. And let's say I want to just grab this. I'm going to hit this arm button and it starts recording. Make sure you got a lot before and after the part you want to grab. I like that too. Okay. And I like that it sends you directly here to name your sample. That's a good habit to get into. And I'm going to go to edit, which takes me to the sample edit screen. So here's where I can, in trim mode here, because later we'll go to chop mode, but in trim mode, I can just get a good starting point, process the whole loop. Can play it out here. I want it there. Pad 10 to start it at where your start point is. Okay, I like that. Also, hold shift and select 0 snap, just to avoid too many clicks and pops as you're making your slices. So I think I like that first starting point. I'll just quickly go here to process, discard to get rid of what's before that start point. So at this point, I like where I'm starting. I can go to chop mode, a couple options there, but we're starting at manual, so it's going to automatically start my sample, the first chop at pad 1, and as it's going, as it's playing, when I press the next pad, it'll place the slice manually right at that point. So that's going to look like this. Let's try to get these chops down. Spring, 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 spring. Got a little air there. And pads are lit up. I got chops on them. I can start playing them. Now see how that bell came in kind of early here. One thing I like to do is I can select this end here. That lets me control the end points with the wheel here, and I can zoom in for more precision. See, and then I can just use the endpoints to get rid of the stuff I don't want. Link slices is on, so the start point for the next chop will be where my last endpoint was. See, I want that there, like that. Something like that. So yeah, I'm just moving the endpoints. Once you like your chops, you can hold shift, press convert. I use new drum track using slices and pad parameters so that when I copy pads over, I don't affect the original pad when I change the new copy. Do it, and now I have this program or this track on this program or whatever you want to call it now. drums back. I like how it sounds. It's a little fast. I want to see if this works. If I go to program edit, there's a lot of ways you can slow down a sample. I'm just going to go to program edit, global, and pitch it down a semitone. That'll slow it down a little bit, but it will also pitch it down a semitone. Keep that in mind. See how that sounds. See, that lines up better. Okay. I like this, so let me see if I can get it down, get it recorded. If you double click here, main, and double click is just like holding shift. Grid mode, that's where your MIDI events will record. So I'm just going to record this pattern here. Same thing, 2 bars, same way I did the drums. I'm using overdub. Let's do play start, so I make sure I start at the beginning, and it gives me that count in. Okay. So I like that. I could just run with that. But I know that records like these, there's a lot of good opportunities to grab some of the other tracks other than the ones you sampled, because I mean, it's the same, band, instruments, compositions, and songs. The keys are the same, so there's a lot of chances to grab, something from a completely different track to add variation. Listening. Stop that. So I found something. I also want to show you how I would just throw the new sample onto this same program or this same track instead of making a new track. See, I like that part right there, right? So I know I want to grab that. I'm going to go press sampler. I'm still on that same track. And I'm going to hit pad tap. The pads that are lit up have samples on them, so I know that the pads that aren't lit up are free. Once I tap the pad, it's just going to start recording and place the slice when I tapped it, kind of like manual. So try that out. I'm going to try to grab this sound. Okay. So I grab that, and they're already on the pads. And that global semi-pitch down is applied too. And I'll play and see that kind of went right into it nicely. And I'll just play over the stuff I have just to see how it matches. You could also hit this monitor and turn that to in to mute what's coming, and then you can play around with your track. Go back and you see, yeah, that matches nice. So I kind of want to get that next part down. Now, how can we do this? What's one way we can do this? Because there's a lot of ways we can go about this. 3.0 gives you arranger mode. You can get there from the grid screen It's in the top left there. That just lays out your sequence and all the tracks that you have. So I know that I want to have this part play a couple of times, let's say 8 bars, and then have the next part come in. So edit is where you're going to be working. If it's in red, that's like the entire sequence. These white parts down here pertain to the selection that you have here, which it will loop that selection, and then you could also take whatever you have selected and copy it over, and it's almost like song mode working directly in front of you, so it's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead, hit that edit again, double the length of my whole sequence that I have now. I have 4 bars, and let's just double it again so that I have 8 bars. Zoom out. So thinking about how I want to do this, I know I kind of want to have the next part come in after the 8 bars, you know, for 8 bars itself, and use the same drum. So I could just edit, double the length again, and now what I like to do is I could go here to the end of the 8th bar, the start of bar 9, so I know that from that point on is my second sequence. I'm on my sample track. I'll use record this time instead of overdub because I want to get rid of what I copied there, what I had before. And I'll use play to have it start playing from where I am instead of the beginning. So I'm going to try to play that part out. All right, let's try it out. Play it out for the 8 bars. And hit record so it doesn't start overdubbing when the loop comes back around. And yeah, see, that sounds pretty nice. So at that point, you know, we got something pretty nice. Maybe I'll show you real quick how I might go about adding a bass. It gets tricky sometimes, matching up the keys, samples and things. But sometimes I like to just try out a synth bass, something real subby, just to accent the kick drums or the sample. So real quick, new track. Let's do plug-in this time. So I'm using the synth. I'll go bass line, and I like the preset preview sub. And then I'll double click here in 16 levels just to double click to go to the note screen where I can play things out. Oh, and also, let me just go back here, select my sample track, because if I go to program edit and go here to the samples where I can see my samples, it's going to show me what key I'm in. See right there, C sharp minor. So now just double click here to go back to the notes screen, and I want to be in C sharp minor. Note screen is really useful. You got your keys, you got chords to play around with that. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down an octave here. Okay, I messed something up. Oh, I'm on the wrong track. I got you. All right, going back to my correct track. something that kind of matches. I like that. So I'm just going to try to record that same way as before. I'm just going to try and record over the whole 16 bars, overdub, and play start so we make sure we start at the beginning. Let's see if we can get it down. Improvising. Like when things are a little off sometimes, but it depends. That kind of works. All right, let's see what we got. Let's go to grid. Just erase that. And it's pretty much it. At this point, I got something I like. I'm gonna go back to arrange, see the whole beat. At this point, I could start writing. I could mess around. Like to, it's convenient about 3.0. Pull this up. There goes grid right there. You know, take some things out like. Take out these bass notes in the beginning, or just do something like that. Yeah, so you know the bass can just kind of drop in, something like that. You know, that's what's cool about Arrange is you don't have to switch screens too much. Say I want something. Kind of like that job. See how that sounds if I go here. Just move it. Transpose this note. To there. Get there in time. Nope. Jump around just by clicking there. Just want to see how that turnaround sounds. Okay. And basically, you know, go in, copy stuff, remove stuff, arrange. I don't know, that's about it. You know, I could write at this point. I did write. The song is called Miles. Check it out. Let me know what you liked about the video or not. Like I said, just getting started off. Let me know if you want to see more, what I could do better, etc., etc. I mean, just, nah, man, the beat's dope, you know. So that's basically it. You know, until next time, I'm the new A1 signing off. Yeah, that's cool. Peace.
You